is 4:56 a.m. and you might be thinking I'm crazy to be up at this hour, and you're probably right, but I'm keeping my voice down so others in the house don't wake up. There's going to be a Canon product launch called ReImagine, and it's supposed to be the biggest product launch ever, and it's open to the public for free, and it's live. So in 3 minutes, I'm gonna go try and watch this. I'm gonna let you guys know what happens in this event, and I'll tell you all the products that came out, and I'll tell you my thoughts on those products. See you in a couple hours. Hey guys, welcome back to Learning Curve Tech, where I learn tech with you. And today I just went to the Canon ReImagine live product event, something they've never done before. And they've said it was going to be their biggest product launch ever. So here are the different things that they announced today. First on our list, you have the Canon EOS R5, which we are all waiting for. We pretty much knew for certain this was going to be announced. We have a little bit different specs than we thought, but we were pretty close. So it does have a 45 megapixel sensor. It can shoot 8K, I believe up to 30 frames per second actually, and 12-bit RAW, 4K up to 120 frames per second, and by the way, 8K and 4K are both with autofocus, something that we weren't really expecting, but it actually has it, so that's really good. Weather resistant, so you can take it out and not have to worry about getting a couple drops of water on it. It's made for adventure and also for places where you might not be able to get a bigger camera in, so you're going to go film a shoot in a very small hallway or a canyon or something like that. You can actually just bring this camera with you because it's so small, but yet it packs in all these great features. It has 1053 autofocus zones. It has really good face detect autofocus. It can detect the eyes, it can detect the animals, it can even detect helmets, and it locks in and tracks that face. And yes, the mechanical shutter speed is up to 12 frames per second and 20 frames per second for the electronic silent shutter. And for the ISO, it has 100 to 51,200 ISO, which is really high ISO. So overall, this is going to be more of a powerhouse, megapixels, and it's also made more for filmmaking and landscape shots. Next on the list today is the Canon EOS R6. Now this is a lot like the R5, except for it has a sensor from the 1DX, I think it's the Mark III, which is a 20.1 megapixel sensor. Still pretty good, but definitely not as good as the R5 if you want to get more megapixels and more sharpness. But it's still definitely a lot of megapixels. You could definitely tell in the product launch that they were saying the R5 is really good for filmmaking, it's really good autofocus. They were saying the R6 is more of an all-around good camera. The R6 has an ISO up to 24,800, and it has the lowest light autofocus of any Canon camera. It has 4K video up to 60 frames per second, HD at 120 frames per second. Again, the autofocus on the R6 is incredible, as they were basically saying the autofocus is great. The R6 also has IBIS, as does the R5, and one of the ambassadors said it would be the perfect camera for mirrorless entry, and it's also not supposed to be that expensive. Also released at the event was the 100 to 500 f.5 to 7.1 L series lens. Has very good build quality, although it will be more expensive than other lenses. Canon also released the 85mm f2.0 macro, which is apparently amazingly crisp and really good quality lens, and that's actually the lens that I personally want to try out the most. They also released the 600 f11 and the 800 f11. Canon also released a printer during all of this, the Pro 300 printer, which is going to be able to print grayscale images without having to switch out the ink. And Canon released a 1.4 and 2 times teleconverters, which will allow you to make your lenses reach even further and zoom even further in. Overall, Canon had a lot of innovation going on today, and it was a pretty exciting announcement. However, these aren't exactly budget options. They're still pretty expensive, but they are definitely less than we all thought. And if you want to get more camera news as well as cinematography, photography, and stop motion tutorials, subscribe right here and hit the bell to get notifications so you can be the first to get new videos every time they come out. Then check out one of these videos, and I'll see you next time on Learning Curve Tech.